Hello guys, so this here is my first YouTube video. I did some back in high school, but I've been doing a lot of streaming and I made a Reddit post and I noticed there was a lot of questions of people having issues finding the COFDM. So I wanted to kind of make a guide on how I found all mine for unlocking Lightkeeper here, the military COFDM wireless signal transmitter. And I know a lot of people tend to think Lighthouse for this, right? But I did a lot of research and I found a really good path here through streets. So I'm actually going to show you guys the keys we're going to be hitting. So Pinewood 215, this is for the quest Watching You. Inside, I found a couple COFDMs because there's a lot of those high-tech spawns. Also, for Concordia, we have the apartment 64 office room key, the apartment 8 cinema. So the actual apartment 8, I don't believe there's any spawns for that, but I grabbed it just since cheap key, same right next door. And we also have just the key for 64 and room 34. I've noticed there's a lot of spawns between these. We also have the Chikenya 15 and the Iron Gate key. So the Iron Gate key, another non-necessary. I haven't found COFDMs in this, but it's a room a lot of people swear by. I haven't personally found a COFDM there, like I mentioned, but it's a right next door, so worth checking. We also have the Zemensky 5 apartment 20. It is marked on the maps as a potential spawn and in the wiki. And then also we do check the IT building for the CFDM, so I figured we'd grab a negotiation room key since it's there. You know, relax key is just a great free key, so I always just keep one of those on me when I'm going in the streets. I know the visuals look a little weird here. I normally have more stuff up for Twitch streaming, but none of it really felt relevant to YouTube, so I'll have to get together an actual layout for that later on. For the time being, though, I'll do my best to keep this video trimmed down to the important stuff, and that way we can actually kind of focus on the run. Lightkeeper is, with the event, you have like that shortcut to him, but either way, like there's a lot of grind involved, since you need to make sure you're maxing out everything you can on your hideout to keep your intel center leveled up, which you're going to have to do anyways for a lot of the main storyline, because a lot of different tasks and quests on there are like decode this in your intel center, get this out of this hard drive in your workbench. So hideout is more important to this wipe than it has been on any other wipe. I'm excited. This is first time recording a YouTube video, and I'm really interested to see how it goes. We spawned in here next to Concordia, so we're going to go push that first. So the first spot we want to push into here is going to be door number 3. We're going to push straight upstairs here. And on the second floor here, you're going to have a couple of the main apartments here. You got to keep in mind, so PMCs can spawn up in these buildings or path up in here. So this casting couch here, you're going to want to check it out first. There's can be a lot of valuables, rare spawns. This is our unlocked door here for 64. You got like a group of rare spawns here on the floor. Not too much else here, but then we have our first key. This is going to be the Concordia 64 office key. If we have that. Yep, Concordia 64 office. And that was Concordia 64 apartment key for the front door. So with spawns here, you have some chance of tech spawns up here, across the desk, down here. A lot of these can be placed with common stuff, so can be a bit of hit or miss. You also have here in the floor, I've seen them on the couch here. So I always like to just do a clean sweep of the room. Up next here, we have Concordia 63. We have a couple keys here. So this... Oh, I did forget this one here. So there is a living room key for Concordia 34. Inside, we do have a few rare tech spawns and our potential spawn for the COFDM. Did that guy just try to shoot me through the wall? Gotta love Tarkov AI. But right here, this is a rare spawn that can be COFDM, and inside these folders here, you can also get spawns across the couch. You got some ammo spawns and stuff in this room. If you run this a couple times, some of these raids you're going to find 2 or 3. Some of them you'll find none. Most of them you're going to find multiple. Apartment 34. So there is some rare spawns throughout the building. It's always worth kind of peeking around. A lot of potential for different tech spawns throughout here. So worth peeking around while you're here. We're going to keep moving past that, though. So I believe right here is going to be our next one. And this one's going to be Concordia 34 office or room key. So I found COFDMs right here on this chair in front of the fireplace. You got like different rare spawns throughout the room for different valuables. Right here we got vodka. Found COFDM there. And then in here, throughout all of this piles here, a lot of potential spawns for rare items. It's like I said, this is definitely hit or miss. This does cut through, though, to 8, which this is going to be Concordia Apartment 8 Home Cinema Key. And right over here is where a lot of the tech spawns are. The issue is they can easily be replaced with different like less valuable spawns of more common tech items, but we found like a drill there. So any of those spawns could be replaced with an actual one. And this here is going to be just the Apartment 8 key. So there you got roller, some valuable spawns. So it's definitely worth checking these keys. You're not going to find COFDMs every raid, but there's a decent chance, and you're still going to leave with some good value out of the room. There we go, Chikenya 15. And so this key actually is a bit more expensive. However, I'm going to show you some free spawns in here at the same time. So here you get a lot of like free spawns for different ammo types. And then you can find COFDMs right here on this table. As well as you can find like moonshines and a lot of high rarity valuables in this room. So number 3 here, this cell, you have rare spawns, which can be COFDMs throughout here. On the mattress, inside all these containers. So there we go, press passes. We got golden egg. And you want to kind of look around. They can be phased in the stuff. But like that right there, that's 100k, like 180k, like 40k. That's like 300,000 rubles from that free room already. Next up, we want to jump down here. You check that couch for valuables. Then we get to check 15 here. So you can look through the window ahead of time if you're really trying to save keys. But if you want to kind of like look in, you got to angle yourself a bit. And I can check. I can see there's a few tech spawns. I know there could be spawns there on the couch. Like we'd see a rooster there. We're going to just go in and check because there's also spawns in this room. And over time, you usually pay it off. So we'll just check through here. You got check there on the seats. You want to check up on the side table. Look at the bed. You got spawns that can be here. A lot of potential for stims, bitcoins, other valuables. Check in the drawers too. Right now, that's just common tech items. Looks like we got a rooster here. Stuff can be all over this couch, though. Right now, this is definitely on the lighter end for this room. Work my way through here. The trick to not breaking your legs is to land on this little wood bench. If you don't land on that bench, there's a very high likelihood you break your legs. The main spot you want to check is going to be this room right here. You'll check the keyboards. You'll check this desk right here, all the different spots it can spawn. And then that's really the big thing you want to be checking in here. I think there is a chance for it to pop here in interrogation room. So we are going to crack that door open, and thermite, that's worth an absolute ton right now. So we'll just ditch that sugar and throw that on. Like I said, though, you can get a lot of tech spawns throughout this room. So all the way upstairs, there, apartment 20 here is where this key goes to. So you'll see Zemensky 5, apartment 20 key. And the big room that everyone talks about is right back here. So we got like a Tetris, Bulbex. I'm a little high on weights. We're not going to grab those. I've seen stuff spawned here. But another room worth checking for just valuables. In the bedroom, you do have spawns like we got an egg. It looks like we got Bitcoin, a couple badges. All right, so apart from those players, we want to push in this entrance here, right across from the mall. And we're going to head up just one floor here. $215 here. Look around so you guys can see the entrance. And this room has a lot of tech spawns. Like we found a 1G phone here. You can look on the tables. Just a lot of, normally quite a bit of spawns. I'm probably going to actually be doing an extra loop just to show it off. But we'll, normally there's a lot more. This has kind of been a light run. I mean, we did get, oh, Despot. We got a Bitcoin and we got a lot of value out of this. All right, let's crack this open real quick, see if we can get a little extra loot for the run. All right, let's get a rough estimate how much all this is worth. So with the price of the Bitcoin and the price of the gun we grabbed off the PMC, that puts us just right around 4 million rubles for that run. We didn't get the COFDM, but we got a pretty decent amount of money at least. So as you're doing this run, it's not guaranteed. You're not always going to find the exact item you're looking for. You know, Tarkov does have a ton of RNG involved in it, but you're still at least making some good money, which can definitely allow you to finance more runs. All right, let's throw this kit back on, top off ammo and meds again, and then we're gonna pop back in and give it another go. See if we can get some better luck this time. All right, so let's see. We spawned in, I believe this is the window room. Not a bad spawn for us right now. On PvP, this is horrible spawn. All right, so we'll start in with apartment 6 Concordia 64. Once again, we are going to hit up the casting couch here. Looks like we actually got some loot on it this time. Next, we're going to go in the porn room. We got a figurine, nothing on the floor. And we're going to unlock the office room here. All right, so, or home cinema, this might actually be. But once again, we're going to check there. We're going to check the spawns across the desk, check the couch. So nothing this time. We're going to push right into apartment 63. And this is going to be the key we lost, or we didn't bring last time. Apartment 63 room key. So the spawns we're looking for are right here. So relays are like a few 100,000 right now, so we're definitely going to want to put that in the secure container. You can get spawns here on the table, on the couch, and then over in here, you can get some stim spawns and med spawns in this room. It's nothing crazy, but worth checking. Also, peek here in the bedroom once again. So we're going to check in the suitcase and in this pile of folders. Stuff can get clipped in there. Nothing on the couch or chair. And so we're going to keep moving out. So once again, we'll take a quick skim through the living room. Where then we'll check in the office here, look for rare spawns. Nothing catching my eye immediately. So we're going to push over to the main rooms here. So once again, this one here is going to be apartment 34 room key. All All right, looks like we got a CPU fan. Nothing over here in the boxes. Do have a mix of some different valuable, or not valuables, provision spawns. Check in here, we got some ammo spawns. Looks like we got an injector. Sugar, it's not really worth that much right now in sugar. Nothing over there in the boxes. I think that's just bathroom. Yeah. All right, so then we're going to hit up these two rooms. We'll start with, the apartment 8 home cinema key. And looks like we got a motor for our tech spawn. No valuable spawns this time, so we're going to push over next door. We're just going to hit the apartment 8 room key. All right, once again, we're going to start off with number 3. All right, so we'll go down through the drop down again. See what we got this time. Looks like we got another press pass. Nothing on the side table. Nothing over here or in that back corner. Nixer lens, that's pretty expensive right now. We'll grab another press pass. See, we have horse, Veritas pick. Still not the COFDM we're looking for. We will peek in here though. I feel like it's such a cheap key that's always worth hitting. You're gonna at least get like some valuable or streamer item that you can grab. But you know, it's worth taking a peek. All right, so we'll stop in here. Not looking too great so far. Dang, this has been a lot lighter than it normally is. All right, let's see if apartment 20 is gonna give us anything this time. Once again, you know, there is some potential spawns through here, but you're really going for this one room. See, we got an RFID reader. And there we go. We got the COFDM. So, like I said, it takes you gotta keep at it for these loot runs. There's gonna be times where it feels like you're not getting any progress, but these spawns, I'm telling you guys, they are potential spawns for it. And you're gonna have some where you're gonna find like 3 or 4 in a loop, and then you're gonna have times where you find 1, and occasionally, like our last run, you'll find none. But all right, 215. Let's see if we can get another one. Maybe actually have some loot in the room this time. All right, so not looking super hot this time. Yeah, that's actually a disappointment. I found like 3 COFDMs in this room is the crazy part. But I have not had luck this loot run here. Still worth hitting up, getting a little bit of loot. Might as well check the free safe though. Got a roller, some rubles. There's a bug where you go to loot that duffel and it teleports you back like 5 times. All right, and it looks like we made it nice and safe. Got a couple kills for dandies while we were at it. Might have to bring a Wi-Fi camera next time for that. Since I know we have that for Is This a Reference, and we've kind of ignored that quest. All right, now the fun time. How much money did we get off that run? So 2,170,000 rubles roughly. So that gets us for these 2 runs up to somewhere around like 6.2, 6.4 million rubles. So not really too bad. We'll load up some more ammo in this real quick here, and I think once I turn in these quests here, we'll actually do another run because I wanna really showcase like the realistic expectations of this route. All right. Thankfully, we didn't spawn out in the open there. Let's see where we spawn. Hopefully, looks like we might have somewhere different this time. All right, we can make this work. What we're actually gonna do, let's see our extract. So we do have sewer river. So I think what we'll do is cross the courtyard here, and we're gonna work over the Concordia through the back way. On streets, you're gonna get shot at a lot from just far away or down the road. That gate he was behind did not do us any favors. I see a friend. Ooh. Ouch. All right, so we threw in another kit. I'm gonna run a 3rd raid here, just because that first that previous attempt didn't go so well with those PMCs and that scav hiding behind the grate. But I wanted to make sure that we do the best we can to actually show off what you can actually do with this route. All right, we're loading in. Let's see what spawn we get. All right, so we're near theater. All right, this works good. I think we still have... What's our extract? Expo checkpoint, it looks like. Let me check Courtyard. So Courtyard is up. I think we'll take Courtyard and we'll do a loop. So we're going to stick with the same path we were trying to do last time and cut over to Concordia over there. I mean, PvE, people don't understand. There is still a lot of risk. It's not just a cakewalk. Yeah, because the instead of dealing with the threat of other players, you actually have the new threat of the AI PMCs, which is essentially labs raiders, is the best way to put it. It's as if every map, all the players were replaced with labs raiders that go around wandering the map. So you got to learn how to be good at AI. All right, so let's see what we got in this room this time. So nothing up here. We did get one G phone. That is one of the spawn and a Tetras. So those spawns where you see items like that are the spawns you'd normally find the COFDM. So that's why these rooms are so good, because they're just being replaced in this instance. However, each of these instances we're checking where we find those similar items, those are spots where COFDMs can spawn, which shows there is a lot of potential spawns. Like here, these spark plugs, they're tech items, so those are spawns it could be in. You also have there on the couch. And then in here, this is like where that's med was last time and where we found stims here. This is where you can find some stims. It's not really the item we're looking for, but it is just an example of an item you can find. All right, so let's see. We got a press pass this time in there. Nothing inside those. Looks like we got just a little more ammo, food spawns. So we'll keep moving through here. All right, let's check the spawns in here. Looks like we got a T-plug that has some value right now, so we'll grab that. And we could also, just while we're here, computers are worth it so much right now. Like, actually, this T-plug is worth more than this G-phone. Because right now, people are working on their hideouts. Let's see, let's go hit up the apartment 34 room key. So once again, this one, we want to check the chair. We want to check in front of the fireplace. We want to check the spawns on the couch. There can be spawns to the boxes over here. We got ammo spawns, rare spawns across here on the bed. We're really being hit hard by RNG in these few raids. See if we can get a bit lucky on this. I know this scav is right here also, so could be another opportunity just to add a little bit of loot. You know, that's how much does that weigh? 1.4. You know, full durability gun that people actually run isn't the worst. I like the hit filing cabinets, honestly. These things can have so much value in them. I also am going to be doing a guide where we're going to do a couple loot runs of filing cabinets. grab a Tarcola. Really, any of the food items or provisions that are used for the, barter. Oh wait, wrong room. But any of the provisions that are used for the Holdonic barter are definitely worth grabbing. You can also just be checking around in all these side rooms. There's a ton of loot in this building as a whole. Like, I could do a loot guide for every single building in the game, and there's always going to be some kind of value there for you. But when it comes down to it, just knowing where the loot is what's going to kind of pay off the most for you. Because if you can check, like, all these good spawns every raid, and just whatever building's close to you, whether it's on PvP or PvE, it's going to pay off. Yeah, we got Skull, we got a Veritas, Dolbos. All right, let's keep moving. I think we'll keep checking all these locked rooms. It's been hit or miss on some of these, but I think we should keep checking though, because I really want to see if we can find anything like really good. I think most of these have a chance of some of bitcoins or rare spawns. So if we hit them all each raid, that's a lot of extra chances to find some of those really high value items. Looks like we got some ammo, got some SSAP out of here, which good ammo I'll never turn down. Anytime it's not a 100 count case, I'm usually just cracking it open in case I find the same ammo to make it stack easier. Alright, so we got nothing there. I'm going to do a very thorough sweep this time. Copper Sabat. We got Vita. We'll drink that. GP coin, which... Oh, that's one. Oh, I see another guard. Crap. That gate's getting me real quick. Let's pop one of our Propitals. There we go. Look, shooting through bars in this game is an absolute challenge at times. I might put my arm in or arm back on. But anyways, yeah, the spot there, we found the GP coin. Most spots where you can find a GP coin, you can find a Bitcoin in the same spot. RLP, Apollo, Chlorine. Alright, what do we got here? Oh, actually, I might do some insurance fraud here. I do like the Osprey rigs. Yeah, so let's move these over. We already used our Propital, so we can do that. We'll drop the Corund, but we will use this MPPV rig. We're actually going to use that for ruble stacking. So what we'll do there... There we go. Yeah, that clears up a ton of extra space. All right, we'll put our arm back on down here and check. See, strike cigarettes, PSO. All right, let's crawl under here. Come on, give me the juice. Nothing there. Oh, there we go. Another COFDM. Not bad. Always love to see some extra ones of those. We could probably do that. Got a Vibin shoe. You want to check here on the floor. They can kind of be in weird spots. Nothing on the shelf. You want to check on here, inside all of these, up to that, behind this chair, on the chair, and over here. Toolboxes have so much money in them right now. Let's check there. Gasan. Yeah, and I think you can technically find GPUs in most of these areas. Probably check a few of these computers. Computers on streets are really good to hit. There's just so much value in them. Nixer lens, that's like a lot of money right now. Those are 200,000 a piece. The yellow plier, and really all the aspects of a tool set sell for a ton because so many people have to craft up tool sets for their hideout. My goal, though, when it comes down to it, is I want to do one of the routes that's more quest based because I know there's 4 separate endings, and I want to try for the one they call the Utopia ending, which, from my understanding, to get the Utopia ending, you need to do all the side quests. All right, we got PSU, Sledgehammer, no COFDM, but we're getting some other kind of rare tech spawns here. All right, here we are, 215. Hit the duffel while we're on the way. Fuel con's not bad. Chug the milk. All these stims are probably hurting our hydration energy a bit. All right, let's see what we got this time. So we got some sugar over there. Don't need that. We're gonna check the floor again. A lot of spawns you can get. And looks like we just got a power bank, which is still valuable, so that's something we can get out of this opening. So we'll go quickly open the safe. We got a lot of slots left for stuff. Hopefully we can fill them here. Yeah, some of these items have so much value. Especially on PvE. I know PvP is a little different just because with the lack of resets, or not the lack of resets, but with the loss of gear, right? So the times people are taking your gear out of raid definitely pushes the economy to be a little more gear focused. So this raid, we were able to hit a lot more stuff. Like we hit a lot of side loot spawns, and we're able to stack a lot of rubles here. So we're gonna get I think we're gonna get a decent chunk of rubles out of this raid. All right, let's time to do the math here. Roughly 3.6 million out of that raid. So 3.6 million rubles. We had a 2 million or 2 point something million and a 4 million. So I'd say we made just shy of 10 million rubles across 3 raids. We got 2 of the COFDMs that we needed. And I will say, normally you'll find more COFDMs. We did get a lot more of other valuable items at the same time, though, and a lot of those slots would have normally been replaced, right? So in the end, you're not going to. It's not 100% spawn, right? You're going to have to rely a lot on RNG. But I do honestly think this run is an amazing run that combines being fairly safe, um, gets you plenty of money at the same time as you're looking for those COFDMs, and all in all, I really think this is a great run. As long as your computer can run streets, I know there's a lot of performance issues in that field, and I really hope this helped. I wish I could have got like those juicier ones, but I don't want to just like do a bunch of runs and show you the best one, right? I want to show you guys just realistic. Like we're even going to include in the video that run we did where we died right off the bat to some bad luck. Um, but hopefully that puts in perspective a bit of what you could realistically expect, right? We had that one run we only made 2 mil. We had that run we made like 4 million. A lot of it is going to come down to luck. I will say, all in all, the runs we did were lower luck than I've been experiencing on the ones where I found mine. Like I found 3 of the 4 I needed for Lightkeeper in one raid on that route. But just to recap, the keys we used the Pinewood 215. This is the one that we really didn't get much luck in, but I have found multiple COFDMs in there, and you need it for a quest anyways. Then Concordia 8, I think one of our Bitcoins came from here. But the home cinema is hit or miss. Apartment 8, but you might as well grab it because there's the cut through from apartment 34 that we hit. For 64 and 63, 64 just has tons of rare spawns and tech spawns. And then 63 has that living room that's hit or miss, but they're connected, same as like these ones being connected. So you kind of might as well grab both if you're running them. Relax key is just something you should always hit anyways. Check 15 and Iron Gate, those are really good, honestly. Check 15 is probably the most expensive key we used. It's like 3 mil right now. So you're looking at 150,000 rubles per open, but you can kind of see on average we made about 3 mil from the entire run. So you pay well over the uses for these keys. Doing this negotiation, there's some good stuff in there. It's like you're gonna find this key if you run streets at all. It's everywhere. I think we have like 10 of them right now. Zemensky 5 apartment 20. We found like RFID readers in there, so it's kind of out of the way. You could honestly, if you're gonna cut one out of the run, if you don't have much rubles, you could probably just cut the check 15 iron gate in negotiation room and just run spam Concordia. If you're gonna, because that's probably where you're gonna hit the most spawns and you can fill up there. Like I would probably, if I was trying to speed this up and save money, I would just hit these up here. I'd go hit the Concordia 34 and 8 keys, and then the 63 and 64 apartments, and I'd hit relax room, try to extract with either sewer river, damaged house, expo. Like, I mean, you have a lot of collapse crane. There's just so many extracts you could go from here, and a lot of safe pathings around Lexos you could take. So honestly, if you're gonna limit your run and you don't have much keys, grab these. If you don't have flea at level, if you're not level 25, although if you're working on like Lightkeeper and COFDM quests, you're probably going to be at the level you could purchase these keys. Like I said, I would hit them all if you're really trying to force that COFDM. But if you're on a budget, hit Too Long Didn't Read, hit Concordia, and go hit the relax room for some money. But with that being said, I really appreciate you guys watching my first ever real YouTube videos since high school. It's been like a decade since I made a YouTube video. So I really hope you guys enjoy it. If you guys have any questions or you have anything you need, comment on the video, or you can even swing by my Twitch channel. I'm relatively small of a streamer, so I've been growing a lot, but I still will always have time to answer questions. If based on what I'm doing, I can often just hop in a raid and show you guys a loot run if I need to. I'm also pretty willing to take people on raids in PV. So like if you're struggling a bit and you need like that hands-on approach, let me know. I am always down to just hop in a raid, and hopefully I can kind of show you guys the route. But with that being said, guys, that's the end of the video. I really appreciate you guys. I'm just starting out on YouTube, so any subs, likes, comments, everything is going to really help me kind of get started on YouTube. But with that being said, thank you guys. You guys have an amazing night, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this.